Here we go. Hi, I'm Brandon Chapman, Pullman City Council Ward 3, and I'm joined by an extraordinary business owner here locally in Pullman, though their footprint is a lot bigger than that, as well as a loyal Coug. I'm here with Tony Poston. So, Tony, thank you so much for agreeing to just chat with me like this so we can maintain our distance, right?
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your business. I think a lot of folks here know what that is, but just give us the 30,000-foot overview of your business, and then we'll talk about how coronavirus, COVID-19 is affecting that like it's affecting others.
Yeah. Well, our business is College Hill Custom Threads. We specialize in branded merchandise and apparel. We work with a lot of universities around the country. Started here in Pullman. We also have a retail store right on campus called the Coug Store that specializes in WSU fan apparel. And hopefully we'll be able to keep shipping. But yeah, that's definitely the question right now is how long can we keep going without any events for apparel to sell to? With no colleges in session right now, we do things for mom's weekends and spring formals and things like that. So pretty much all of our customer base is no longer buying for those events, and they're hunkered down. And so we're just trying to keep the lights on at this moment.
Yeah, when you say no longer buying, I mean, cash flow is important as a business. And tell us, you don't have to mention specifics, but tell us in general, what are you seeing in terms of revenue and how are you, when you talk about hunkering down, how are you hoping to weather that storm?
Yeah, well, I mean, we saw this coming a few weeks back when we started to have orders canceled. So we've been working from home. I have employees all over the state that all work remotely, but we have a company headquarters in Seattle, downtown Seattle, South Lake Union, actually. But they've been working from home since end of February, early March. We saw the writing on the wall. We had our first order cancellation early March out Vanderbilt, actually, university. I just remember because I was like, say what? They're canceling an event, that far out. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. So in the month of March, we were able to retain sub-business, but we're down about 65% in gross revenue. We don't know what April looks like. If I had to estimate right now, I would say it's probably over 80%. We just don't know what it's gonna look like. And then going into the summer, which is already a little bit lean for us, it's kind of where we reset and recharge for fall. And when school gets back in session, we don't know what to expect because we do a lot of stuff for 5Ks and golf tournaments and company picnics and things like that. Basically everything we sell is catered towards large group gatherings. So we're just sort of rolling with the punches right now. I've been on, countless webinars about the CARES Act that was just signed today by Senate and learning how that goes. It sounds like that'll be a few weeks for the SBA and the lenders to come up with a plan to disperse that. So we're really hoping that we can continue to keep people on board. Our executive team in early March took a pay cut already, to try to keep everybody else on board. And hopefully we don't have to continue to do those. But my number one priority is to keep everybody paid. Everybody that's at my company is their health insurance. We pay for all their health insurance as well. So we want to keep them insured and keep moving. So.
Yeah, and I appreciate hearing that. I mean, a lot of business owners, primarily the business itself, of course, has to keep running. But one thing that keeps business owners up at night is the worry for their employees. And of course, you don't just manage the merchandise. I mean, you're managing people, right? You're a leader of this group of people that helps keep the business going. So I was going to ask about that, but you came to Pullman, back to Pullman, or you stayed in Pullman because you love Pullman, right? I mean, that's where you put your central hub, even though you have an office in the Seattle area. I mean, you're here because you love Pullman. And so, talk about that desire, trying to reconcile both. You need every last bit of revenue to keep your business going, but you also see that you're part of a greater picture, right? This Pullman community that you've called home, and talk about some of the things that you're doing to try to help others, because I've seen that not just with you, but I've seen that where some businesses that are struggling are still outward looking. They're still looking at ways to help others. So talk about that and maybe the philosophical reason behind that.
Yeah, well, I mean, our company, one of the, we have 5 company values, and one of them is to serve and do good. And that was built in our business model from the beginning. You know, just going back to the first T-shirt I ever designed was for my fraternity philanthropy, and we threw a big concert and raised a bunch of money for Children's Miracle Network and some other things that were tied into my fraternity's philanthropy. But that was kind of a prelude to my career. My early career right out of college was in the music industry and touring the country with rock bands, working on a record label and managing bands. But that led into merchandising. So it kind of is built into what we do every day. I mean, we've been fortunate enough to work with, when we first started out, College Hill Custom Threads, work with fraternities and sororities primarily. And a lot of those groups have philanthropy tied into their organization. So we've been able to raise hundreds of thousands for Greek philanthropies, which is pretty cool. And then when I moved back to Pullman to make it my forever home, you know, I saw an opportunity to, you know, Pullman's a community. If you get involved, you can really make a difference. Not to say you can't do that in a big city, but here, you know, you can really make a splash because you're sort of, it's a smaller pond, if you will. And you know, me making this my forever home, I saw the opportunity to help shape the future of what my forever home would look like. So I got involved and try to support where I can. So obviously, you know, we're not selling to fraternities and sorority philanthropies right now, so we can't donate money off of T-shirt sales. But what we can do is use our retail shop here in Pullman to donate. And so every Friday, we started today actually, every Friday, we've chosen a different organization in Pullman. This Friday happens to be Pullman Regional Hospital. They set up a fund. Next Friday will be the Community Action Center, and we're going to continue to do this as long as we're able to, and the community needs it, really. So.
Yeah, I love Tony. I appreciate that. I love Pullman with all my heart. Like, I moved my family back here for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate very much that you look at this not just from your business benefiting from Pullman, but that you see the value in helping the community, and you know, I really do. I admire people that when they're struggling, that they're looking at ways to help others. So again, I mentioned it's not just you. I mean, I did see that Neill's Flowers and Gifts sent something to sell us. Birch Barley ended up giving lunch to the middle school staff that were working so hard to keep children fed. Just a lot of really good people here in Pullman, and those are the kind of things that, you know, maybe long term, if somebody believes in karma, those are the businesses that are really, really going to succeed afterward, because it's going to come back to them in some way or the other. So, but even if it doesn't, it's inspiring to see people doing it just because maybe it's the right thing to do, even though it's not maybe the most fiscally responsible thing to do, because sometimes that's the way we look at things. It's just a money issue, and so I really do appreciate that from the bottom of my Pullman loving heart. Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah, of course. We're very fortunate. These business owners stick together, so it's awesome.
Anything else you want to add before I cut us off, because we've all been on Zoom too long?
Yeah, no, I appreciate everything you're doing. I think as far as being a Pullman resident and volunteer and elected official, like the communication that you do with all of your constituents is very appreciated. And I see you out there supporting small businesses, and that's appreciated as well. So thanks for talking with me. And if I can do anything for you, let me know.
All right, cool. Thanks, Tony. Appreciate it. Have
Yep.
a good one.